Hello everyone, welcome to IAS with Arihant. Student, as you know, every day we are doing a series that is called as Prelims Possible, and it is totally based on Arihant. Okay, so there's a book that is called as Prelims Possible. So we are discussing about the same, as well as we are trying to complete the complete solution of this book. Okay, so stay tuned with the session, and this book is going to be very, very important as well as useful for your each state PSC examination as well as for the UPSC examination. So this book is going to be important. So we are discussing the same thing. So let's begin the session. I am your mentor Indrjeet Jaiswal, and we are here, IAS with Arihant. So those who are very new to this channel, please subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, as well as share this video with your friends also. So students, we are going to discuss one very important thing. As I told you, this book is going to be important for your state PSC examination as well as for the UPSC examination. So this book contains lots of information, and if you see, this book is designed in a format, so it will make your this journey, this public service commission journey is going to be very, very easy. This book is basically categorized chapters, okay, in a very systematic format. And this book contains chapter-wise discussion as well as there will be a topic-wise discussion. We already discussed 4 topic and 2 chapter. Okay, this book contains topical mind map, so it will make your journey easy. How? So there will be some important point, and we are going to discuss in a very easy and systematic way. Okay, and this book contains 100% explanation, and this book is 100% error-free. Along with that, there will be a knowledge plus pattern, that is a point where if some question is very important and that contain a specific concept, we are including the same concept there. And if you see, students, if you are going to have this book, in the last there is a basically bullet points. Okay, so what is bullet points here? Basically this book contain 3500 plus bullets, and that is totally based on the previous year question paper. So this is called as prelims PYQ bullet. So it is also going to be important because it will create a right understanding for each and every book. So in the today's topic, we are going to discuss the second chapter, and along with the second chapter, students, we are discussing about the second topic of this chapter, students. So we are going to start with the same, and as I already told you, share this session with your friends also. Okay. So let's begin the session without wasting time. Student, as you know, before starting MCQs, we are just delivering some important point related to the same chapter. Okay, and that's why I already told you, you not need to go for any PDF and all. Just have this book, and it is going to be important. So all the points, all the important data mentioned under this book, and it will be helpful for your each and every examination. So as we already know, there was the rule of Britishers over India. Once they left India, before that there was a question how this country is going to be governed. So as we already planned, now we need a constitution. So for that purpose, students, what you see, there was important delegation sent by the Britishers in India, and in 1946 a very important delegation came to India that was named as Cabinet Mission. Okay. And students, we already discussed about the same in the last class. There was 3 members, and these 3 members are the part of the British Parliament. I hope you all able to understand. Okay. Prerit will do same for all, means we will do the same thing for SSC CGL also, but this is especially for your state PSC examination as well as for the UPSC. So you guys can go for the same also, no worries. Okay, because these questions means relevant for other examination too. Okay, so Cabinet Mission, there was 3 members, as we already know. Who are they? One, Alexander, A.V. Alexander, and Patrick Lawrence, as well as Stafford Cripps. So these are the 3 members there. Okay, they came to India, and what was the purpose of this Cabinet Mission? They are going to create a Constitution Assembly for India. They are going to create a basically interim government for India, and basically they will conduct an election for the cabinet, this Constituent Assembly, and they are going to create a constitution for India, students, not cabinet mission. The Constituent Assembly will create the constitution for India. So we just made a outline for the same. So as you see, we want to create a democratic constitution at that time, means it was the vision. So basically this cabinet mission, they suggested one very important thing, now we need to create a Constituent Assembly and they must be elected by the people of India. But there was no universal adult suffrage. There was one very important thing, there was a limited adult franchise was given. Okay, so only few group was there, they are allowed, as well as member of Constituent Assembly, they are elected from the provincial assembly students. Okay, so if you see, the cabinet mission came to India and it was made under the British government. And what was the function of the cabinet, this cabinet mission? They are trying to create a Constituent Assembly for India, students. And then students, as I already told you, there was one member over each 10 lakh population of India. Okay, so this is also a fact and this is also a question for your examination. So on the basis of population at that time, if you see the map of India, if you try to consider, at that time Pakistan was a part of India, so Bangladesh was the part of India. Okay, and see this East Pakistan, West Pakistan, both are the part of India at that time. So on the basis of population, they decided that there will be 389 member at the time when the Constituent Assembly was created. And as you know, in 1947 the India was divided and there was two dominion was created. One was Pakistan, so East Pakistan and West Pakistan was created. And after this partition, students, this Constituent Assembly revised once again and the membership or the number of member reduced to 299. And the students, at the same time when the constitution draft was created, we are getting the sign of the Constituent Assembly member and we are getting 284 sign over the draft. So in the last there was 284 member available. So see, as we already discussed, there was 389 member initially, and there are two important territory. One was the British provinces or British India, other was the princely state. As you know, princely state was also part of the Indian territory. Okay, and they have independent right also at that time, but when they signed an instrument of annexation, after that their power was dissolved. So British province, or you can say British India, there was a provision for 296 member. Princely state, there was a division, means they got the 93 membership, or 93 member was there in Constituent Assembly. They can elected from this, they can be nominated, or the prince or the king, they can participate on, okay, in the Constituent Assembly. There are 296 members from the British province. Out of this, 292 is going to be elected by the provinces and 4 from the high commissionaries, which is also important. After the election, students, this election was conducted and then Constituent Assembly was made. Initially, Muslim League denied, we are not going to take part in the election, but later they joined us. Okay, and when the election was conducted, so for the first time they meet, and this is called as first meeting of Constituent Assembly, and it was conducted on 9th of December 1946. It is very important and it is very factual data. In most of the examination, this question they ask. First meeting of Constituent Assembly. Students, there was 389 member. So now we need a head who must conduct the assembly. So at that time, students, we need a head, and J.B. Kripalani was a person who addressed this Constituent Assembly for the first time, and there was a provision for French Constitution. We adopted from the same. For the first time, a temporary head was elected, and he was Sachidanand Sinha. So he was the temporary president of Indian Constituent Assembly. After that, students, on the second meeting, that meeting was conducted on 11th of December 1946. In the second day, the meeting was conducted and permanent president election was done. And at that time, students will see that Dr. Rajendra Prasad Sir was elected as a permanent president of Constituent Assembly. Okay, and there was another person also named as Harendra Kumar Mukherjee. He is called as SC Mukherjee. he elected as a vice president of Constituent Assembly. Student, one more name I like to mention here only. There was a person named as HVR Iyengar. Okay, HVR Iyengar was the secretary of Sachiv, in Hindi he is called as Secretary of Constitution Assembly. Okay, why I am mentioning these fact and point? Because previously these questions directly asked in your examination. So try to remember HVR Iyengar was the Secretary of the Constituent Assembly. Students, second meeting, election was done. In the third meeting, basically this Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he subscribed oath. And on the third meeting only, students, here the third meeting was conducted on 13th of December 1946, and at the same day there was a person named as Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir, and he presented an objective resolution. Objective resolution was, it is nothing but it is an, you can say it is a guiding concept, or you can say a guiding note, or you can say a key point that was presented by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir, and that is called as objective resolution. He mentioned there why we are here and what we want to create and how this constitution is going to decide the future of the Indian people. So this is the third meeting, 13th of December, very important question for the examination. Student, this objective resolution he presented, later it was passed by motion in the Constituent Assembly, and this motion got approval on 22nd of January 1947. Very, very important for the examination. This was the second session of Indian National Congress. Okay, so this is also going to be important. First draft of Indian Constitution was made on October 1947, and it is presented by, there was a constitutional advisor named as B.N. Rao, Benigal Narayan Rao sir. He was called as Sir Benigal Narayan Rao. Okay, and after the partition of India, a very important date, students, 29th of August 1947, the drafting committee was created. What was the function of drafting committee? They are going to create a draft for Indian Constitution, and they will read the word important constitution, approximately 60 countries constitution they read, and after that they compile a very beautiful constitution for India. And see, after that it was presented at the Constituent Assembly. There was a discussion as well as debate on each and every clauses of this draft, and then our constitution came into existence. Okay, so this is important, that this is important to understand. A very good evening everyone, I hope it is okay. So this is the formation of drafting committee, and see, there was 7 members, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar sir was the head for the drafting committee. Okay, so we will discuss these things also. First reading of constitution was done from 4th November to 9th of November in 1948, after the making of Indian Constitution. Second reading was done from 15th of November 1948 to 17th of October 1949. Third reading 14th of November to 26th of November. And see, students, as we already discussed, the constitution making was started on 9th of December 1946. See, the making of constitution was completed on 26th of November 1949. So in this time period, it approximately 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. Within these time period, constitution was drafted, it was created. And as you find the students, on 26th of November 1949, according to our preamble, this constitution was adopted and enacted. It was adopted and enacted, but not fully. Why? Because there will be a day, that is 26th of January 1950. Now there is a question, sir, if constitution was created, it was completed on 26th of November 1949, why it is not fully implemented at that time? So students, in the Constitutional Assembly there was a discussion, as initially we are celebrating Independence Day on 26th of January. Why? On 26th of January 1930, for the first time, Independence Day was celebrated. Why this day chosen? Okay, so see, understand, I'm just going to tell you a story. In 1929, students, when Indian National Congress meet, in Lahore, and this is called as Lahore session of Indian National Congress, where the president was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir. And here for the first time they demanded, means Congress demanded, a Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj means the complete independence. And for the same time, students, just after this meeting, they decided that on 26th of November 1930 we are going to celebrate a day, and that will be called as Independence Day. And see, there is a river named as Ravi River. On the bank of Ravi River, a tricolor flag was hosted, and these tricolor flag, students, if you see here, this is going to be important. Okay, so there was some member of Indian National Congress, they reached to the Lahore and they hosted a flag. So this 26th January has a historical point. So when the Constitutional Assembly member, they thought ki, okay, if we are going to celebrate this Independence Day on 26th of January, it is not going to be relevant, because British has already given us independence on 15th of August 1947. So to get the remark to remember the 26th of January, they decided ki, okay, we are going to implement our constitution on the same day, where initially we are celebrated as a Independence Day. So see, constitution came into force, means the complete constitution was enacted on 26th of January 1950. But before the implementation of constitution, a signature work was done on 24th of January 1950, students. So this day is also very, very important for the examination. I hope you all able to connect it. A very good evening, everyone. I hope you all able to connect it. This story is very clear and the concepts are very clear. These facts are very, very important for the examination, and as well as I'm going to give you some more important fact as well as data with the question. So first question on your screen from the chapter Formation of Indian Constitution, Committee and Sources. So you have to opt the right answer, and what we discuss from this book, that is Prelims Possible by Arihant, and we are on the session, okay, already. So just go with the book. The book is going to be beneficial for you, as well as it is going to give you lots of information, as well as it is going to build your concept also. So just opt the right answer from the first question. How much time Constituent Assembly took to frame the Constitution of India? So as I told you, students, Constitution Assembly or Constituent Assembly, they for the first time meet on 9th of December 1946, and from 1946 9th of December till 26th of November 1949, they did 11 session of Indian National Congress, 11 session of this Constituent Assembly. And students, if you count the date, you'll find that it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. So this is important for your examination. So if you see here in the option, it took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. I hope everyone able to understand. If you're not, then just write in the comment box. Okay, so answer is here. Explanation is also we added in the same book in a very systematic format. If you read question and then if you go for the explanation, you'll find each and everything is going to be defined very easily. So if you see the explanation, Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days to frame the Constitution of India. The first meeting was held on 9th of December 1946, as well as draft of Indian Constitution. Draft was completely created on or completed on 26th November 1949. And if you are going to count this day by using your calendars, so you'll find that it is 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. I hope you all able to understand. So don't get confused. In some books you'll get the different data, but these are very authentic and very means we just derive this data from the authentic as well as the Government of India sources only. Okay, so see the second question you have, mention the correct date of the last meeting of Constituent Assembly of India. See, last meeting, it is 26th November 1949, it is 5th of December 1949, it is 24th of January 1950, it is 25th of January 1950, students. So once again I tell you one thing, you need to think also. Why? Because these all days are very important. Last meeting, when people will meet, they are going to sign over the draft of Indian Constitution. How many signs are signed over there? 284. signature we got in over the draft of Indian Constitution. Okay, if my speed is slow or fast, you guys can mention the comment box also. Okay, so just tell me the right answer. So see, the signature work was done on 24th of January 1950, and students, some important task was also decided at the same time. At the same time, it is not written in Constitution, it is just for general your general information. National flower, national anthem, national song, these all data, means these all facts was, or these all important work was done on 24th of January. They all are accepted on the same day. As well as 24th of January, our Constituent Assembly President Dr. Rajendra Prasad Sir, he chosen as a President of India also. So this is also important for examination. So 24th of January 1950, Indian Constitution, basically Constituent Assembly, they meet for the last meeting, and after that on 26th of January 1950, Constitution was implemented. And students, very important date, that is 26 November 1949. This day was basically chosen as to adopt and enact. Now there is a question, sir, from where we are getting this data? If you see the preamble, so in the preamble last line, it is same line mentioned in we do hereby in our Constituent Assembly 26 November 1949, we are adopting this Constitution as well as enacting this Constitution. I hope it is okay. So option C is going to be correct. So the explanation, the correct date of last meeting of Constituent Assembly of India was 24th of January 1950. On this historic day, the member of the Constituent Assembly gathered to adopt the Constitution of India, and which came into effect on 26th of January 1950. And when Constitution came into effect, we became a Republic of India students. Okay, so this 26th of January 1950 marking the birth of Republic of India, and this day now celebrated as Republic Day annually, every year we are celebrating, as well as this is commemorating the movement when India officially became a sovereign democratic republic. Student, this sovereign democratic republic, these three words initially they are mentioned under the preamble of Indian Constitution. And before some day, if you see in the news, basically Subramaniam Swamy, okay, he's a BJP leader as well as he's a very prominent advocate. So he just filed a petition in Supreme Court कि as in preamble by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, so try to remember this also, 1976, there was 2 words and 1 phrase was added. 2 words was, one is socialist, another is secular. So initially there was 3 words, sovereign, democratic and republic. 2 more word was also added, socialist and secular. And student, 1 phrase was modified, that is unity and integrity of the nation. Okay, what you find, he claimed that as our Constitution preamble was modified in 1976, but in preamble we are getting a date now this Constitution is going to be adopted on 26th of November 1949. So Supreme Court given a date, I think it is in April month. Okay, so on that day they are going to decide that this day is going 1949, this day is going to be modified or not. Okay, so this is still a question. Okay, so but you have to remember this Constitution was adopted and enacted on 26th of November 1949, but fully implemented on 26th of January 1950. I hope you are able to connect it. Now if you see the third question, the Constitution of India came into force on, it is a complete enforcement of Indian Constitution. So we all know that on 15th of August 1947 we became independent country. Okay, and 26th of January 1950 Constitution came into existence, means basically it was fully implemented. So this day is also going to be important for your examination. I hope you all able to connect it. Okay, so we already discussed here The Constitution of India came into force on 26th of January 1950. This day is celebrated as the Republic Day in India, marked the culmination of a long and intensive process of constitution making. On the same day, India adopted its new constitution, which establishes the country as a sovereign democratic republic with the comprehensive framework for the governance, fundamental right and rule of law. It replaced the Government of India Act 1935. Students, initially our country was ruled on the basis of Government of India Act 1935, but once we implemented our constitution, this was removed. But one very important thing, the laws or the rules or the offices made by the Britishers before 1940 before the independence as well as after the implementation of constitution, so they are accepted, but only those who are not following constitution, they are going to be void or invalid. Okay, so this is also important. I hope you are able to connect it. Just try to remember. Now students, Constitution Day of India is celebrated on which of the following day? And this question was asked in the Bihar PSC 2016. So if you see, in Bihar PSC they give 5 options. So 26th October, 26th November, now they've just modified pattern in 2023. They are started giving 4 options as well as negative marking, but initially there was no negative marking and they are giving 5 options. Okay, so Constitution Day, 26th January, 15th of August, or none of the above, or more than one. Okay, so if you see students, we already discussed on 26th of November 1949, Constitution was implemented, partially enacted and adopted. So this 26th November chosen as to celebrate the Constitution of India Day. Okay, as well as students, on 26th of November we are celebrating the National Milk Day, because it is the birth anniversary of Varghese Kurian, who started who started a white revolution. So that's why it's called as father of white revolution in India, students. So this is also some important fact that you need to connect. Okay, so Constitution Day of India is also known as Samvidhan Divas. It is celebrated on 26th of November every year, and as you know, the Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949. So that's why this day was chosen to celebrate as Constitution Day or Samvidhan Day. I hope it is okay, everyone. Now we have to see India's new constitution was adopted on. See students, there is a very important line, that is adopted on. So adopted and enacted on 26th of November 1949. But whenever they are asking question ki when it was fully implemented, that will be 26th of January 1950. So just try to find out this hairline difference, because sometime you will find that the constitution is fully implemented. At that time you have to choose 26th of January. So don't get confused. Okay, it will be important for your future. Okay, I hope it is okay. You all able to connect? Great. Now if you see the explanation, the Constitution of India was adopted on 26th of November 1949, and the member appended their signature on 24th of January 1950. This is also very important date. Okay, though a constitution came into force on 26th of January 1950, some provision relating to citizenship, election, provisional parliament, temporary and transitional provisionals, these were the introduces on 26th of November 1950. Basically there was a 15 article especially. Okay, so this is also sometime important. So partially it was enacted. If you see the another question, there is 26th January was selected as the date for inauguration of constitution, because why this 26th January was chosen? Why this 26th January? Now you have option. It was considered as to be an auspicious day. It on that day Quit India movement was started in 1942. The Congress has observed it as a Independence Day in 1930, or none of the above. So students, I told you a story. When there was 1929 Indian National Congress session was taking place in Lahore. At that time, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir, he became the president of Indian National Congress, and here the complete independence was demanded, or in Hindi it is called as Purna Swaraj. students under the Purna Swaraj, they mentioned one thing, कि we want complete independence. So after this demand, students 26th of January 1930, they meet at a river named as Ravi River, and on the Ravi River bank you'll find the students, they unfurl a tricolor flag, and this day every year they started celebrating as a Independence Day. So this option C is going to be correct for the same. We already know the stories, okay? So means there will be no confusion, there will be no problem if you find the stories in a simple and easy format. And now see the explanation to understand the thing. Student, if you see 26 January was selected as a date for inauguration of the Constitution because Congress has observed it as a Independence Day in 1930. During the Congress session of December 1929 that was held in Lahore, Jawaharlal Nehru was elected as a president, and Congress finally voted for Purna Swaraj, complete independence, as opposed to dominion status for India, and resolution was passed, and fixing the last Sunday of January, that was in 1930, this was 26 January, and students on the same day they celebrated basically Independence Day, and after this 1930 they started celebrating 26 January as a Independence Day. I hope you all able to connect it. Easy everyone. Okay, if you feel doubt, just tell me. Okay, now there is a question, how many sessions of Indian Constituent Assembly were conducted for the formation of Indian Constitution? So for how many days for how many sessions they meet? Students, sometime they are asking a time period also. Recently last year in 2023 there is an MPPSC paper, they are asking for the sessions date also. So in this book it is also provided, okay, and that is important for your examination. Okay, so total how many sessions was there? 11 session was conducted. Okay, so this is important, just try to remember 11 sessions, just a fact data. So if you see, the Constituent Assembly had 11 sessions for the formulation of Indian Constitution and 1 meeting for signing the Constitution. Okay, so first session was held in December 1946, 11th was held from 14th to 26th of November, students, and they meet for the final, that was final meeting was that was a 12th meeting, and it was done on 24th of January 1950. They signed over draft of Indian Constitution and they accepted the same, students. So there was total 11 session that was conducted. I hope you all able to connect. Now see, when did the Constituent Assembly of India have its first meeting? See students, first meeting, the first day of meeting, and I told you initially there was 389 member. They decided, out of 389, 296 from the where? From the British India, and 93 from the princely state. So from the princely state, a member of Constituent Assembly, a king himself can participate, otherwise he can send someone as a nominated member. Okay, so he will be representative of princely state, and out of 296 there will be 292 member is going to be elected directly from the provinces, and 4 member is going to be chosen from the high commissionaries. Okay, so the first meeting was conducted on 9th of December 1946, students. I hope you all able to connect. Easy. Now see this question, as we already discussed, this question is very important for every examination. Like in UPPSC it was asked, in other IAPSC it was asked, in Bihar PSC it was asked multiple time in one-day examination like SSC or UPSC, these type of paper, in this type of paper also. Okay, so I just added explanation here. The first meeting of Constituent Assembly was held on 9th of December 1946, and the Constituent Assembly was constituted in November 1946 under the scheme formulated by Cabinet Mission Plan, students. So Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, the most senior member of Constituent Assembly, was elected as the first chairman of the assembly, students? I hope you all able to understand. Easy. Now another question we have. See, who was the first president of Constituent Assembly, students? Now see, they just mentioning one thing, first president. They are not mentioning anything about temporary or permanent. So now you have to choose which name is mentioned here. Dr. Ambedkar, Rajgopalachari, Abul Kalam Azad, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad. So we all know that the first president was, temporary president was Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, and first permanent president was Dr. Rajendra Prasad Sir. So option D is going to be correct for the same. So Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first president of Constituent Assembly on 11 December 1946. However, in the first meeting, Dr. Sachidanand Sinha was elected as a temporary president of the Constituent Assembly on 9th of December 1946. So this is important, students. Just try to understand. You must recognize according to options. Okay, I hope you all connecting it. Great. Now we are moving towards the another question. Who was the first nominated, very important data, nominated deputy chairman of Constituent Assembly? Nominated. It is T.T. Krishnachari, V.T. Krishnachari, H.C. Mukherjee, or Frank Anthony. So what is going to be the right answer for the same? Student, very unique answer. Okay. So if you see deputy chairman of Constituent Assembly nominated, first nominated, he was Frank Anthony. Okay, so Frank Anthony was right answer for the same. So we just studied here. Frank Anthony was the first nominated deputy chairman of Constituent Assembly. Frank Anthony was a prominent Indian lawyer, politician, who played a significant role in the framing of Indian Constitution. He was a member of Constituent Assembly and was known for his contribution to the discussion and debate on the various constitutional matters, students. Okay. See, if you see the next question, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was elected in Constituent Assembly from. See, students, as we already discussed, they came from provinces. Okay, provinces. So there was some province like West Bengal, Bombay Presidency, Middle India, or Punjab. So from where Dr. B.R. Ambedkar sir was elected in the Constituent Assembly to be the part of Constituent Assembly, provinces elected their members and they sent it from the provinces. Sometime some women's member name they are going to ask in your examination. So just choose the right answer. I hope you all able to connect. It is very important and I try to ask these type of questions multiple times. Okay. So if you see, he was coming from the North Bombay Presidency. Very important question, students, as this question was asked in UPPSC to 1996 and IAS 1996, means UPSC pre. Getting it? So he was elected from the Bombay Presidency. Earlier, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was elected from the eastern part of undivided Bengal in the election held in 1946. But after the partition, students, he changed the state. He became the, basically this region became the part of the East Pakistan. Now it is called as Bangladesh. So he chosen from Pune seat from the Bombay Presidency, students. This is also a factual data, that is Pune. And maybe they are going to ask you for the first time he was elected from which place. So from West, basically it was West Bengal. Okay, or you can say Bengal or undivided Bengal. Okay, now how many women members were in the Indian Constituent Assembly? How many members are from the women category or from the women's? They are representing the women, students. Okay, so 15, 13, 12 or 10. How many women are there? So student, if you see, there was 15 women in the Constituent Assembly and they are coming from, they are representing whole Indian presidency. So their names are also important, as well as from which presidencies they are coming. It is also sometimes important. I'm just going to mention some important names here, but you have to see explanation. there were total 15 female members among the 389 elected members of Constituent Assembly. Out of these female members, Sarojini Naidu, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit contributed immensely in the drafting of Indian Constitution. After partition student, you will see the number of representation is going to be limited. It is 299. So in that there will be 9 women. Okay, initially it was 15, but later they became 9 in number. Okay, now we have another question. When was the proposal accepted in the Constituent Assembly to give a constitution India? When was the proposal accepted in the Constituent Assembly to give a constitution to India? It was 22nd of January 1946, 22nd of January 1947, 20th of February 1947, or 26th of July 1946. Students, what is going to be the right answer for the same? Just opt it very carefully. Student, we already discussed. First meeting was held on 9th of December 1946. Second meeting on 11th December 1946. Third meeting on 13th December 1946. And students, on the third meeting, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir, he presented an objective resolution that was passed with a motion on 26th of January 1947. It means that this day was here where the Constituent Assembly member was ready to create a constitution. So automatically this objective resolution was passed, and this day is chosen as to basically mention this proposal to make a constitution was accepted. Okay, so 14th option B is going to be correct. And see students, we have to react according to the option also. So if you see explanation, the proposal to give a constitution to India was passed by Constituent Assembly on 26th of January 1947. The historic objective resolution was presented in the Constituent Assembly by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir on 13th of December 1946 by giving a glimpse of structure and philosophy of the constitutional structure. Basically, he mentioned what type of constitution we needed and how we are going to create it and what this constitution going to serve to this nation. Okay, so this is important. Now see the another question. Okay, if you see the 15th question, in relation to the formation of Constitution of India, which of the following sentences are correct? This question was asked in UPPSC as well as MPPSC 2014. Listen carefully, think carefully, give your answer in the comment box also. Resolution of objective resolution or resolution of objective by Nehru affected the making of Indian Constitution. Is it affecting? Okay. Preamble fulfill various important objective and aims. Okay. People of India directed the constitution. Or the fourth option is head of the state is elected by people directly. Now think about the question and try to choose very carefully. Resolution of objective, or you can say objective resolution, affected the making of Indian Constitution. You'll say yes sir, because it is decided what type of constitution we are going to create. So option 1 is statement 1 is correct. Preamble fulfill various important objectives. Yes, it's contain some philosophy, some basically provision, like we are going to be sovereign country, we are going to be a democratic as well as republic country. And yes, if you read the preamble, there is a very specific, we the people of India having solemnly resolve and constitute India into. So here the authority are people. So people of India order or directed the constitution. But if you see head of the state, who is the head of the state? President. President is not elected by people. President is always elected indirectly. So option 1, 2 and 3, where it is going to be correct, and where 4th is there, that is going to be incorrect. So option C and B is going to be incorrect, and all of the above is not correct. So option A is going to be correct. I hope you all able to connect. Great everyone. So see the statement. In relation to the formation of Constitution of India, statement 1, 2, 3 are correct. On 13th of December 1946, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir presented objective resolution in the assembly, and it laid down the fundamentals and philosophy of constitutional structure, Preamble is called as soul of Indian Constitution, and it reflected what is there in the Constitution. The preamble fulfills various important objective or aim which Constitution of India intended to achieve. Okay, so the Constitution of India is accepted in the name of people of India. We already discussed about the same. Is made according to the requirement of Indian population. It can be said that it was the people of India who directed the Constitution of India. Statement 4 is going to be incorrect because Indian President is elected by member of Electoral College consisting of elected member of both House of Parliament, elected member of Legislative Assembly of State, Union Territory, Delhi and Pondicherry. President of India is not elected directly by the people. So automatically option 4 is going to be incorrect, students. I hope you all able to connect it. Yes, I know कि sometimes this this class is going to be very lengthy, but yes, I don't want to create any type of burden on you students. So we'll do 15 question only in this chapter. We will meet tomorrow once again, because our motto is to give you a best solution, along with that best information from the same book. As we already discussed, this is a book that is called as Prelims Possible, and it is specially created for all state PSC examination as well as UPSC examination, and it is made by Arihant. Okay, and this is available for each and every subject. As we already discussed, there are lots of feature contained in this book, as it is 100% error-free, detailed explanation included here. Knowledge plus with the typical question, PYQ bullet for the revision, as well as free package chapter test also. So basically, students, if you see, this book is here for history, geography, India as well as world in the same book, Indian polity, Indian economy, as well as general science. So this book will be available to your nearest store. Thank you so much for joining and listening, students, as well as those who are watching this session in recorded format. I recommend you one thing: just answer for your what are the question are there, just answer your answers in the comment box. Okay, so this is all about today's session, students. I hope you like it, so share with your friends, as well as just hit the like button. Thank you so much for joining and listening, students. We'll meet soon. Take care. Have a great day.